Good morning. I want to call the Pontiac Election Commission meeting to order at 9:33 a.m. Roll call.
Prater,
Present.
Doyle,
Present.
Altman, Harris Ford.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. We need a motion to excuse Commissioner Altman.
So move. A second.
Roll call.
Prater,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Harris Ford.
Yes.
3 yeas, no nays.
Commissioner Altman is excused. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda. Support.
Roll call.
Doyle,
Yes.
Harris Ford,
Yes.
Prater.
Yes.
3 yeas, no nays.
The agenda has been approved. Next on the agenda is approval of the March 25th, 2025 meeting minutes.
I move to approve March 2025 meeting minutes. Support.
Roll call.
Harris Ford,
Yes.
Prater,
Yes.
Doyle.
Yes.
3 yeas, no nays.
The minutes have been approved. Next on the agenda is public comment. I have a list here. Everyone will be given allow 3 minutes to speak. Okay, I'll add you to the list. Let me make sure I remember how to do this. Been a while. Okay, that's it. Reset. Oops. That's all wrong. There we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so first on the list, I can't. Oh, okay. Okay, Minister Veronica Taylor, you have 3 minutes to speak. Go ahead. Can you, go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
First, I give honor to this honorable body and God who's the head of our life. As the voter protection woman, I'm looking diligently for you all to continue to do the right things for these candidates that's on this ballot. And I'm asking you all to make sure y'all look through what Oakland County have put in and done and take care of. And as the voter protection woman, I'm counting on this city of Pontiac to help us continue to do and keep democracy. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Taylor. Okay. Next is Renee Beckley. No, you have to press the little person that's a little. Let me remind everyone, if you could please silence your phone. Okay, go ahead.
All
Ms.
right.
Beckley.
I'm going to make clarification who I am. My name is Renee Beckley. I am Kermit Williams' coordinator and scheduler. Kermit Williams had turned in all his paperwork before time, way before the deadline. I just saw on the county site, that everything was accepted, and he cleared everything. We think this filing challenge is frivolous. We think, in my opinion, it's an attempt for somebody that's insecure and wants a quick way to win an election, trying to make Kermit a write-in. We will not stand for that. I believe these are some honest people up here on this board that will not take that, whatever Jason Bauer with the checkered past filed, my opinion. So Kermit did everything correctly. He did everything right. Well, we would like not to pursue this any further, but if it doesn't fall that way, that he may pursue it further in some other way. But I just want you to certify Kermit. Let's have a fair election. Let's have a good election. Let the people decide who should win, be their mayor or not, or whatever council person or whatever's here that you're here to discuss. Let's not get into that. There's too much of that, you know, with this fraud and everything, and people pointing fingers and this one, that one. Let's do like they used to have, fair elections. Whoever wins, nobody should be afraid of the next mayor. If the next mayor does an audit, the next mayor does an audit. Who's ever called up in the audit? It's called up in the audit. What's done is done. So we believe that was something out of spite that was filed. Somebody just think they're not going to win, or they might have inside information that they were the loser. I don't know why that was filed. It doesn't make any sense. Please take that in consideration, because it does not make sense at all. I can't figure out in my wildest dream. I've never seen that happen before. Someone that has their stuff together, and then you're going to file against them saying they did it. It does not make sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Beckley. Next is Darlene Clark.
I can go. Good morning to council. Good morning to the audience here, and good morning to the people who's listening on TV. The question is only a simple question, and get clarity to the public that's listening to these procedures. Could you explain to the public why that once the ballots was turned in and approval was given at the clerk's office, why all of a sudden there's a change of plans? The people that turned in their ballots was given the approval, everything was okay, but it appears, and you know the answer, so I'm not making assumptions on anything, but it appears that it was a mistake in counting or a mistake somewhere. But can you please just explain that to the public?
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Next is Gloria Miller.
Good morning, Patricia. Good morning. Here's my concern. It looks political to us out in the streets. It looks real bad on the clerk, on the reflection of the clerk, because I know two of these candidates, they ran and they submitted their documentation in time enough for to rectify some of the problems that they had. I'm going to reference Kermit Williams. He submitted his stuff back in March. If he had his affidavit all wrong and stuff, I remember the day you could call and say, hey, it's not matching up. Why didn't someone just, why do you have to wait till the deadline, then put it out there? It's look political. And actually, it's dividing the community because a lot of community people think that you set it up for a certain person to win it. I'm looking at all this stuff right here, what I'm looking at now. I got District 4, just one person. And all my years of doing politics in the city of Pontiac, I've never seen so many challenges. Never. And I'm king of petitions. District 4, Kathleen running on her own. Wow. William Carrington, okay, by himself. So basically, these people are already set to go in place. If nobody challenges them, if nobody do a write-in, and we know how successful those are. And so, and I also would like to mention, if you can mention it during this meeting, because there are a lot of people who are going to do write-ins. Will they be able to be there when they do that count of the write-in because they have none whatsoever faith in the clerk office anymore? None. So they want to know, will they be there for all the ones that's running for, that are running as write-ins? Will they be able to be there at that count when you do the count for the write-in? Because it's going to be different from the ones on the ballot. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm telling you what's out in the street. You got division. You got some white pulling for the blacks, and they're saying, okay, this is this. You got it all set up. You're kicking these people off for just petty little stuff. And that was my question, too. Why didn't somebody reach out to these people, especially the ones that had that? Now, the ones, I'm not going to bother with the ones that didn't have the signatures. You can't denounce that. You didn't have them, you didn't have that. But this is a very important race, probably one of the most important races we're going to have in a long time. And to have people kicked off, you might not even like half the people, but I am for democracy. That's what I fought for all my life. Whether I like them or not, they all should stay on that ballot, everybody, because for that little reckless thing. And if you want to be honest, Mike McGinnis got more baggage than anybody. If he stays, definitely all those residents should stay. And that's even for the ones whether I vote for them or not. It's just democracy. It's the way it works. And so our clerk office is not looking good right now with this stuff. Challenges. How does somebody get to challenge you? You already confirmed them that they already got the signatures, and then they come along, and then you take them off the ballot. I'm Mr. Clerk, and you know it's not personal, but that falls on you. You made the error, okay? You told them they had the signatures, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then they come along and challenge it, and then you back up. Don't do that.
That is your time.
All right, thank you.
Next is Chuck Johnson.
With the exception of the name Renee Amplified, I concur with her comments. And I think that you, Mr. Clerk, have a real tough job to do. And I think you know how to do it. And we're going to look forward to you doing your best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Next on the list is Brett Nicholson. I'm sorry. Brett Reynolds.
Good morning. I first want to say that I've had a tremendously good experience with Ms. Hoadley and with Ms. Castro in the clerk's office. They've treated me with respect. They've treated me very professionally, and I have utmost confidence in their abilities. I am disappointed to see how many candidates have been taken off the ballot when the intent is absolutely clear. They turned in their forms for this election with other forms that had the proper date, which had the proper name of the street. They were clearly, I'm speaking in District 6 specifically, where Cassandra Bradford turned in her petition, and when she was speaking to Ms. Grandison, filling out her form, she accidentally, and maybe like me, I have senior moments, she put her street as Pike, not Pike, but Pontiac. And Ms. Grandison, being a notary, is supposed to compare her ID to the actual document and confirm that and she attests as a notary that that person appeared before her and presented proper identification and that it matched the form that she was signing. I know it's very complicated. I know that was the affidavit. And as far as I can see, there's nothing in state law that says an affidavit can be challenged. She was told that she had passed and that she was fine. She has voice messages on her phone. She has saying, you're good to go, you have enough signatures. But only yesterday, I believe it was yesterday or maybe it was Monday, she discovered that it was discovered by the clerk's office, after probably going through with the fine-tooth comb, that she hadn't put a date on one page, and they threw out, I think it was 12 signatures. So she went from 107 to 95. So that could keep her off the ballot, but it's clear that there's responsibility in the clerk's office. Secondly, I'd like to speak about Mike McGinnis. I'm the challenger for Mike McGinnis. Mike McGinnis has a 20-year felony. Mike McGinnis and Jason Bauer, the judge said in the matter versus Bauer and McGinnis, what you have done is worse than the killing of a human being. You once had a promising political career. Now you will have none. It shows the intention of the sentencing judge, and this needs to be adjudicated beyond this tribunal. It needs to be adjudicated in the common court of law. And that's what I have to say. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. That was the last name on my list. But if there's anyone else that wishes to speak who has not spoken before, you can state your name and you'll be given 3 minutes.
Good morning, City of Pontiac. My name is Joseph Sinclair, 1611 Sterling Lakes Drive, Pontiac, Michigan. I am standing up and giving a response on my own at the challenge of myself. I think more so than anybody running. My challenge was based on signatures. I'd be remiss in saying that I was walking around in 45-mile-per-hour winds getting signatures. I had screen doors that snatched away from homeowners that slammed on me. I had screen doors that I had saved so they wouldn't break on homeowners. I wasn't trying to go in anybody's house because of COVID and RSV. Everybody knows I had a history of being sick, but I'm not sick anymore. But walking around with a clipboard trying to get signatures in that type of weather, yes, I will say that some signatures may not match up, but what I will not be allowing is for anybody to defraud myself and to say that I had signatures on my petition sheet that didn't match up for any reason other than the inclement weather that day. I'm asking the city clerk to have some leniency and allow myself to be placed on the ballot. But regardless of what the decision is made, I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. I've been in this city all of my life. I stepped up to run for District 5 in 2013. I stepped up again in 2017. I got sick to death in 2018. And as you can see, my condition has been completely reversed. God has blessed me. One thing I can tell you right now is the politics inside of City Hall looks very decisive, very divided, and there is a lot of questions going on as to how things are being handled and how things are being done inside of here. We have people on city council who are jumping on people who have nothing to do with what's going on in-house here and it's spilling out. The challenges and the things that I have saw more so this time around, I understand that it's a tactic and that it's a part of our local elections now. But more so, what I see is that it has caused so much division. It has caused so much division. I had Ms. James mistaking that I placed the challenge in on her. I don't sow seeds of discord anymore. I don't practice antagonistic politics. I don't get into decisive politics because it does not serve the people. So I'm asking you to please give me some consideration and please take into my explanation of myself. And again, I'm saying this because I didn't defraud my signatures at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sinclair. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? I'll ask again, is there anyone else that would like to speak that has not spoken during public comment? Okay. Since there is no one else that would like to speak during public comment is now closed. Next on the agenda is the city clerk's certification report. Prior to me giving my report to this commission, I would just like to explain the process to the public. And I also would like to acknowledge virtually we have joining us the city attorney, Elizabeth White McDowell, who, if the commission needs any kind of clarification, can provide clarification. So first of all, the filing deadline for candidates to complete their affidavit in their nominating petitions was April 22nd at 4 p.m. After that particular date, you could not make any kind of, if you didn't have enough signatures, you cannot add any kind of signatures to your nominating petition. The charter states how many nominating petitions a candidate must have. So in the case of mayor and the city council at large seat, and the city council at large seat is new to the city of Pontiac, it was a minimum of 250, a maximum of 400 signatures, but you had to have 250 valid signatures. In the council district, if they were running for a council by district, it was a minimum of 100 and a maximum of 150 valid signatures. And then the library board, I believe it was 40 valid signatures, or only in the case of the library board, you could opt to just pay a $100 filing fee and not file nominating petitions. So then with the nominating petitions, and first I should say, I actually did a presentation before the city council, I believe it was April 1st, the April 1st meeting, where I went through the process where the public would be informed that when we're validating signatures, that your signature must match the Michigan qualified voter file. So the signature that we're looking at is the signature that is either on your driver's license or state identification. So I mentioned to the public, it's very important if you're circulating nominating petitions to make sure you tell the person who you're asking to sign that they actually sign like their driver's license or state ID. So that has to happen because that's the signature that we're validating. With nominating petitions, you must complete the nominating petition out completely. You cannot leave certain things off of the nominating petition, because if you leave certain things off of the nominating petition, it will make that signature invalid. You must, the voter must sign, print their name, sign their name, put their address, and put the date that they signed the nominating petition. If on the nominating, I could have brought a nominating petition. If the heading of the nominating petition is not filled out completely, like for example, if you did not include the date of the primary is scheduled for August 5th, and you turn that nominating petition in, that whole entire signature page, even if all the signatures are valid signatures on there, that will invalidate all of those signatures. If the circulator who circulated the petition fails to put the date that they on the nominating petition, that invalidates all the signatures on that particular nominating petition. I think there were a total of 12 spaces on the nominating petition. So you could have had 12 valid signatures, but if you fail the circulator to put the date, that invalidates. And these are not choices made by the city clerk's office. These are things that are in the state law. The state law, things have been challenged before where people went to court. If you remember 4 years ago, there were a lot of court challenges and stuff as it relates to who was eligible for the ballot, who was not eligible for the ballot. But there are certain things that if they're not done correctly, can cause someone to have to, for me not to certify them for the ballot. So dates are important. If you didn't put a zip code on your nominating petition, the courts have ruled that's not, in a sense, like a fatal flaw. But if you didn't date it, that is a fatal flaw. So I have to go by, in essence, state law. So I will say when the petitions are, in essence, turned in, then it's the responsibility of the staff in the clerk's office. So there are 3 members in the clerk's office that was reviewing petitions. So it is their responsibility to make sure that they're valid signatures, and we were contacting candidates and letting them know if they had enough signatures or, in essence, not. But after the process is over, and let me back up too, with the affidavits, it is the person's responsibility to complete their affidavit correctly. So the job of, in essence, a notary, and everyone in the clerk's office is a notary, is, and this is not just in this case, is to basically validate that you are the person who you're saying that you are. So we're supposed to watch you sign your name, date your name, and check your identification. So that I'm Garland Doyle, this is actually Garland Doyle. I saw Garland Doyle sign in front of me, and that's what I'm attesting to the signature. So it is your responsibility to complete the affidavit correctly. Did the clerk's office try to make sure? Yes. But if something is in essence missed, because this happened before where I think some candidates did not check the box, I'm a United States citizen, that's not an issue this time because the form was actually changed by the state. It's just a statement. It's no longer that you have to, in essence, check a box. But it is the candidate's responsibility to make sure their stuff is turned in proper before they come to the clerk's office and turn their stuff in. So after I was informed by my staff who was actually had enough valid signatures to be on the ballot, we sent out letters saying that you're eligible for certification, but people are allowed to challenge your candidacy. If no one challenges your candidacy, then I will certify you for the ballot. But if someone challenges your candidacy, which is within the right for anyone to particular do, then we have to review each one of those challenges. In the case of each challenge, we reviewed each challenge. I also conferred with the city attorney who provided the law as to what, in essence, I needed to do. So if the clerk's office missed in validating someone's signatures, that if we did not catch that you did not put a date on a petition and said that, yes, all those signatures on that petition was valid, but if somebody actually challenged that, then we've got to address that challenge. And if we look at it, okay, this was missed, then yes, those signatures do not count. And can that affect your total number? Yes, and that did happen. Now, it's incumbent upon me then to, and I won't go into any personnel matters, is then to address with my staff, as well as training, any other type of action that needs to happen as a result of what was done on the clerk's office. But unfortunately, I can't just put you on the ballot if there are fatal flaws on your nominating petitions or, in essence, your affidavit. And then as it relates to the role of this commission, according to state law, the city clerk is the certifying officer for municipal elections. So, and this came up before, so this commission cannot say, okay, we want to put this person on the ballot anyway. No, they cannot do that. It's just, in a sense, receive the report. So I will actually now go through the certification report, and the report should be online. If not, we'll make sure that the agenda packet is actually online, so where the public can see the report. So we had a total of 7 citizens who submitted their names for a mayor, and each one of those candidates was certified by the city clerk. And this is just simply in alphabetical order: Gil Garrett, Mark E. Holland Sr., Mike McGinnis, Alexandria T. Riley, Deidre Waterman, Kermit Williams, Wendell Woods. And I'll address the challenges to some of these particular candidates, but each one of these candidates was certified by the clerk. Candidates for City Council at Large: Adrian Austin, Marcus Bowman, William Parker Jr., Sanel K. Thurkel. Apologize if I mispronounced his last name. Candidates for City Council District 1, Chris Jackson, Melanie Rutherford. Both of those candidates were certified. Candidates for City Council District 2, Dean Baklava, and I may be mispronouncing, and Milana Jones. Both of those candidates were certified. Candidates for City Council District 3, Mikhail Goodman. Mr. Goodman was not certified. He did not submit enough valid signatures. He submitted 121 signatures. We deemed that only 78 were valid. I will say, not only do the signatures have to match in a district race, you have to live in that district. If you are not a voter in that district, a registered voter, and you have to be registered in that district. So if you're still registered in another address that's not in that district, that signature would have not counted. So just for the public to be aware. But anyway, Mr. Goodman did not submit enough valid signatures. So in the case of District 3, there will be no candidate's name on the ballot. Candidates for City Council District 4, Kathleen W. James, Joseph C. Sinclair. Ms. James was certified by the clerk. Mr. Sinclair was not certified. He did not submit enough valid signatures. He submitted 112 signatures. 89 were deemed to be valid. In the City Council district race, as I mentioned before, you had to submit at least 100 valid signatures. Candidates for City Council District 5, William A. Carrington. Mr. Carrington was certified. He was the only person who actually submitted petitions to run in District 5. Candidates for City Council District 6, Cassandra Bradford, Regina K. Campbell, Troy F. Craft, Kalimia Howard. Okay, so Ms. Bradford was not certified by the clerk. She was initially informed that she was eligible for certification, but Ms. Bradford's did receive a number of challenges, and it turned out, based on the challenges, it was a challenge to her affidavit of identity and her petitions as well. With her affidavit of identity, her address was not correct. If your address is not correct on your affidavit of identity, unfortunately, according to state law, not the city clerk, according to state law, in a sense, that's a fatal flaw, and you're not eligible for certification. It does not matter if you had enough valid signatures or not. That alone, you're not eligible. But in addition to that, it turned out that Ms. Bradford did not have enough valid signatures because one of her petition sheets that had been initially deemed to be valid was not valid because as the circulator did not date the petition. And I mentioned earlier, that would mean all 12 signatures on that petition sheet were invalid. So she submitted 143 signatures, 97 were valid. So Ms. Bradford cannot be certified by the city clerk. Ms. Campbell has been certified, Regina Campbell has been certified by the city clerk. Troy Craft, unfortunately with Mr. Craft, again, he had been told that he was eligible for certification, but after the challenge and then the review of the challenge, there were, in the case of his petitions, there were some signatures that were said to be were invalid because if you do not have the date in the heading of the election, August 5th as the primary, then that entire sheet, unfortunately, has to be invalid. And again, that's by state law. There was, well, not by, that was actually a court case. It was a court case, I believe, in Macomb County, where the clerk had certified someone. It was a state representative race. The opposing candidate challenged, went to court. The judge ruled if you do not have and it went to the Court of Appeals, so somebody appealed it, and, the Court of Appeals then issued a ruling saying that if the date of the election is not on the nominating petition, that's an invalid sheet. Doesn't matter if all the names on that sheet are valid or not. And based on that, when all of the number of Mr. Craft's petitions, it turned out then, therefore, he only had 91 valid signatures out of 147 submitted. You needed at least 100 in the city council district to be eligible for certification. Clemia Howard, and she was initially informed, and still the case, she only submitted 84 valid signatures of 116 submitted. Then the candidates for the library board, Carlton Jones, Rosie Lance Richardson, Hobart Maxey, Carol Yvonne Turpin, LaDonna Cornegay Bay, Rayvon Love, Tori Blander Harris, Angela Allen, Russ W. Russell, Desiree White, Yvette Brinker Marion, Ashley R. Curry, Dorian J. Simone Burkett, Tanta T. A. Kills, and Deidre Waterman. With the exception of Deidre Waterman, and that's because Ms. Waterman withdrew her candidacy. As I stated before, April 22nd was the last day that you could file, but then that Friday, you had up until that Friday, if a candidate wanted to withdraw from a race, they could. And Ms. Waterman withdrew her candidacy for the library board, so that's why she was not certified by the city clerk. In the case of the library board, all the other candidates were certified. So their names will appear on the ballot. So that, just so where the public is aware, in the case, if there is not more than double plus one the number of seats available, then there won't be a primary for that election. So come August, the only races that will have a primary in the city of Pontiac will be mayor, because of course there's only one seat for mayor, and we have 7 candidates for mayor. The city council, at large seat, it's 1 seat available, but there are 4 candidates. District 1 will not have a primary since there are only 2 candidates. That race will only appear on the November ballot. Same for District 2. As I mentioned, District 3, there are no names on the ballot, so people will just have to write in. District 4, there's only 1 candidate's name that will appear on the ballot, and that won't be until November. Same thing for District 5, and same thing for District 6. So no primaries. The library board will have a primary because there are 6 seats on the library board, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 candidates. So there will be a primary for the library board, and it will be the top 12 candidates that will move to the general election. And I should have said that the top 2 candidates out of the 4 for the city council at large seat will move to the general election, and the top 2 candidates out of the 7 candidates for mayor will move to the general election. As it relates to the candidate challenges, I'll start with Cassandra Bradford. Regina Campbell was the person who was the challenger, and she challenged Ms. Bradford's affidavit of identity. Again, Ms. Bradford had an invalid residential address, and I mentioned before that's a valid fatal flaw, so therefore she cannot be eligible for, she can't be certified by the city clerk. And again, her nominating petition on one of them did not have the date of the circulator, and that took her below the threshold for the number of valid signatures. Regina Campbell also submitted a challenge to Troy Craft's candidacy, and there were a number of challenges as relates to his petition. One case was I should also mention, when the person is signing their name, putting the date on there, the circulator then has to put a date. The date that the circulator puts on the petition can't be before the date that some people signed the petition. That makes those signatures invalid, which was in the case of Mr. Kraft. Again, if you don't have the date of the primary, every valid signature on that sheet has to be invalidated. If an address was missing, again, that's an invalid signature. So because of all of those issues, unfortunately, Mr. Kraft did not have enough valid signatures. Jason Barr challenged Alexandria T. Riley, who is a candidate for mayor, her affidavit of identity and receipt of filing, and based on the fact, he said that she had 11 unacceptable campaign finance statements filed with the county without their summary page. The city clerk is not the record keeper for campaign finance reports. That is the county. And I contacted the county. The county worked with their corporation counsel. Ms. Riley had filed the campaign reports because if you remember on your affidavit of identity, you're attesting at that time, you've submitted all your campaign reports, you don't have any outstanding fines or anything like that. So the issue was, did Ms. Riley, were all her campaign reports valid or not? The county determined that they had accepted the filing of her reports, so based upon that, she is eligible for certification, and her candidacy was certified. Mr. Wendell Woods challenged some of his nominating petitions because some of the signatures were invalidated because the signatures did not match. But regardless, Mr. Woods still had enough signatures to be appear on the ballot. So Mr. Woods was certified for the ballot. Keila Gray Grandison challenged Kerman Williams' candidacy for mayor based on his affidavit of identity, that it had a different residential address than was listed on his statement of organization, his campaign reports. So this issue somewhat kind of came up 4 years ago when we had to certify. And so the city of Pontiac litigated similar facts 4 years ago in the case of Townsend versus the Pontiac City Election Commission, the city clerk, and Grimel. In the unpublished, per the opinion of the Court of Appeals, the court held that an error in a candidate's address on his campaign finance report does not impugn statements made on the affidavit of identity. So such the candidate should not be so therefore the challenge of him submitting some kind of false statement on his affidavit of identity is rejected, and Mr. Williams was certified by the city clerk. Brett Reynolds challenged Michael McGinnis' candidacy for mayor on the fact that he had been convicted of a felony, and the plain language of the Michigan Constitution requires that to be ineligible to appear on the ballot, the person must be holding public office or employment at the time of their conviction. At the time of Mr. McGinnis' conviction, he was not a public office holder. So because Mr. McGinnis was not a public office holder at the time of his conviction, therefore, it does him being having a felony conviction does not preclude him from being certified for the ballot. So Mr. McGinnis was certified for the ballot. Joseph Sinclair challenged his nominating petitions. We reviewed his nominating petitions, and unfortunately, Mr. Sinclair did not have enough valid signatures. And some candidates, although they don't have to, they did submit a response to the challenge of their candidacy, but that's that. So I think I went over, and this list is available to the public, the official City of Pontiac certified candidate list. And I think I've mentioned those names already. So that concludes my report. Does any commissioner have any question?
Mr. Chair, I believe you did a very thorough investigation of all of the challenges, but my question is that the commissioners here, we didn't know about any challenges. Is that something that we should have been notified of before?
I guess we could have notified the commission of the challenges. Previously, 4 years ago, I don't believe I notified the commission at that time of the challenges. I just, again, investigated the challenges and then submitted a report to the commission. But going forward, I have no problem informing the commission if there are challenges.
Okay, thank you. I do believe that the city clerk did his due diligence as far as investigating all of the challenges and going by the election law for the state of Michigan. I do accept your report regarding the candidates.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. So since there are no other questions, I need a motion to receive and file the list of certified candidates.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Prater,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Harris Ford,
Yes.
3 yeas, no nays.
Okay, so the report has been received. If there is no other business to come before this commission, I need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Support.
Roll call.
Doyle,
Yes.
Harris Ford,
Yes.
Prater,
Yes.
3 yeas, no nays.
The commission meeting is adjourned at 10:22 a.m. Thank you.